Right, I'm here with Ken, who's from the Canonical Design team. How you doing, Ken?
Hi, great, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. So what are you here at UDS for?
I'm here to discuss our new teams. We have a design team, a desktop experience team that we've just formed, and also to take part in many tracks about the technical aspects of my job, and which is less artwork side, but a lot about the implementation of the artwork.
Okay, so the new teams, how are they going to work? What are their remits?
Well, we've got a desktop experience team, which is a development team of people who implement totally new ideas for desktop interaction. Instead of just letting developers do what they do best, we've got a design team as well that is a usability and artwork specialist. We've got concept designers and usability concept designers, interaction designers, a couple other positions. And then we have a whole area of implementation managers, which is kind of what I do, who make sure that those ideas are then correctly implemented through the desktop experience team.
Okay, cool. So that's a new thing for Jaunty. We've not seen that before.
That's new for Jaunty. The teams are still forming. There's still quite a few open positions, so it might very well be the case that in Jaunty there's less included than one might expect. People expect amazing changes. I would say that you'll see an inkling of it in Jaunty, some new ideas. There definitely, this notification system is one of them, kind of the major one, as well as in Jaunty +1 in October. That'll have a lot more, and I think within a year and a half you'll really see the full impact of our team.
Okay, so it sounds like quite an exciting area to be working in.
It's very unique. It's the first Linux company that I've ever worked for that took it in a very professional way. Until now, it's kind of been hire a usability guy and hire an artist, and they'll fill in the spaces that the developers don't do themselves. This way, it's more of a proactive development model where we think of good ideas first instead of just trying to polish what we have.
And because it's an open source operating system, you can actually influence all the applications.
To an extent, and that's our plan. Like this notification system, it's going to involve patching quite a few applications. Because of the scope of it, it's quite hard. We have to work with our upstreams very closely, and that's one thing that's been kind of not a problem, but a lot of people have seen it as a problem in the past. And in the future, we're looking at being our own upstream projects, so moving in along with upstream and contributing with upstream projects as much as possible. This is all cross-desktop, so we're creating an infrastructure that can be used on either toolkit, well, GDK or Qt, not anything else. We're not going for...
Not going for Tickle or anything like that.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. So in the past you've done artwork and things for Ubuntu as well. Are you carrying that on?
Yes, I will still be creating pieces of art. It's working with concept designers and working with graphic artists who will actually produce the pieces. And I guess my experience has been not just doing artwork, but also doing a lot of the technical implementation side of it. I did all the packaging and stuff like that, and it's leading the community as well, and bug tracking and things. The community is kind of a whole other thing, which is a huge area to work on. Let's say we're always continually trying to improve that.
Is there a big sort of artistic community and design community around Ubuntu?
Ubuntu, it's amazing enough, has there's 200 and some people at any given time on our artwork list. We have probably 10 to 20 very active people. A lot of them are lurkers, a lot of them are developers who just want to see what's going on, which is really interesting because if they follow us, then we can also lead them. Until now, it's been us trying to find a new application, say, oh my God, that's ugly, and then tweak it to make it look okay. I'm hoping that the community will be more active and more productive in the future. A couple of years ago, we started off with a real mess, and we've worked our way through with Intrepid, our last release. We had some community-based themes. We had theme teams that got together and created and produced artwork in our whole GDK themes. And with a little bit of technical help, packaging and implementing it on a PPA so people could test it, we picked the 3 best ones and included them in the release, which is something totally different from us. I hope that we can do more with wallpapers and other pieces in the future.
Wallpapers have got a lot of attention in the last couple of releases. They've been sort of a bit different from previous.
They certainly have. Up until the last 2 releases, we always had a very abstract, artsy kind of thing, which kind of every operating system does. The last two releases we tried to stay with a mascot idea because of the name, the unique name of each project. The Hardy Heron, or as people call it, the Ubuntu Chicken. We started with that, and that was very, very, very popular. In Intrepid, we had the goat. Unfortunately, they've named it Jaunty Jackalope, I think, just to mess with my world.
Yeah.
Not sure if I'm going to be drawing any rabbits with horns in the future, but we'll see what happens.
Okay, cool. And do you do work on the theming as well? Because
Yes,
there's the whole dark
I've
theme.
implemented the GDK theme. I made the dark theme that's included. We've had a lot of interest in using a dark theme, and I think you'll see more of that in the future. There's quite a few applications that need patching, or we need to talk to upstreams to change that. Until now, we've just collected the information because I wanted to get a good idea of what the main problems are. A lot of it's just major GDK things where you say, don't do a tree view in this thing. In the meantime, half of our GDK is special casing for widgets that don't do what you expect. And I think you'll see a lot more of that in the future.
So are there particular applications that are still causing problems with dark themes?
Yes, we've got a whole list of them. I mean, beyond the Firefox and OpenOffice issue, there's a lot of smaller applications that just use widgets in a different way than we expected. So we define a foreground color, and we expect it to be shown on the accompanying background color, but they'll do something completely different and show it on a selected color or something like that. And you have to make sure that the contrast is right so you can read text and stuff like that. I'm not sure if we're ever going to get the theme to be able to fix all that, but if we talk with upstream and get things working, I think we could have some really neat themes. People are very interested in dark themes. It amazed me because I thought people are going to kind of say, this is, crack, what are you doing? But the truth is, it's very, very popular.
Yeah, I've seen quite a few people here. It's not the default theme in
Right.
In
We had it for the
Intrepid,
default, and that was we were the first Linux distribution to do that, to take a dark theme and put it in as default during the development period.
Yeah.
So we had this development phase where we had a dark theme, and we got all this feedback. And the truth is, very few people said, oh my God, that's dark, I hate it. And if you walk around, you'll see a lot of people using it.
Yeah.
In fact, I just saw a website about the 50 best Linux themes, and I would bet 9/10 of them were black.
That's
So
interesting.
people are very interested in it.
Yeah. But even on the theme that was the default when it was released, there have been some tweaks and changes in Intrepid as well.
Yeah.
It's like the progress bar is all sort of slidey and pulsy now.
Right. What we've done is we had the human theme, which was basically unsupported for quite a while, and it wasn't developed further, so it kept getting worse and worse. So I took a development snapshot of the Marine theme engine made by Andreas Simitan. It's great work. He's been very helpful in that whole thing. And it's different than human, and it's maybe not completely what Canonical wants as their look for Ubuntu. But I think in the future we'll keep working on that, and as we get more developers and this desktop experience team forms, we can do more work on a theme engine of our own and define exactly our own look and feel.
So what are the main things you're hoping to take away from this week?
This week for me, it's all about connecting with developers and upstream people and looking at what we have and looking at what we can do and discussing the possibilities. It's a lot about learning as well as giving my good opinion from my experience of what they shouldn't do, to be able to say, I know you want to do it this way, but we should really do this because in the future, I've seen these problems before and this is where we need to go.
It seems like there's an increasing interest from developers in UI issues and usability.
Definitely. In the past, it was kind of, software developers making software for themselves, for developers. And that was kind of how Linux started. They needed a desktop experience, and all these applications were missing, so it was make these applications as fast as possible. And then afterwards, it was, okay, now let's go back and do usability, which for them, usability was then, where does this button go, not how should the whole application work. And I need an icon, I need a picture here. My joke was always, is when they come and say, I need an icon, I say, I need an application. I think in the future, as the desktop, the applications are there, the infrastructure is there, it's now time to have a more usability and artwork-led design process, to start off at that end and then to work your way through. Because then when you design the applications, you start from the very beginning with good ideas, and you can work out all the problems. It gives you time to test things and try different ideas.
Excellent. Well, enjoy the rest of the week, and thanks for talking to me.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.